that we're hoping to do if we get one more Supreme Court justice in our favor on the Supreme Court. Bring a case before it that will allow the justices not to make it illegal to have abortion. They're going to send it back to the states. That's the best that we can hope for as an objective, is to send Roe back to each individual state and then begin working the states until you've got 38 states to pass a constitutional amendment. That's the objective. It's either this, which didn't work, and then this, but this was never tried. Georgia became the first state in the nation to try this at a state level in 2007. And it shook the core of the movement when we did so, because what we didn't know is it was frowned upon to do. We didn't know, we were walking into a minefield that we weren't even aware of. It's called personhood. Jack, even a year ago when I had dinner with him, he's totally in favor of personhood. He resigned, he got booted out of National Rights Life as the head over this issue right here. Did you know that, historically? He lost his position as the founder and president of National Rights Life because he was still hanging on to that objective. And that's why I say this is not a new paradigm. It's a paradigm that's as old as the church and was certainly around from the beginning of the rights law movement. His history is clear that this was our objective and where we were going. Bert Balch, another friend of mine, he's the head of the Powell Center for Medical Ethics at National Rights Life. His wife, Mary Balch, is the state legislative director over all state legislation in the nation. He told the audience in a closed-door meeting that over the last 4 decades, personhood has split the movement 3 times over 40 years. Once in the early 70s, Nellie Gray, National March for Life. Anybody been to National March for Life? In D.C., Nellie Gray. She would read the life principles on personhood every year until the year after her death, and they've removed them. I've talked to the board. I've talked to the chairman of the board. They're not going to read them anymore. Where personhood was held up. She left as a National Rights Life board member, Nellie did, when she said, you're offering compromise. No bills, no politician should have a rape and incest exemption. And so she left the movement and she started the March for Life. And wanted to, what's that?
Last year.
Sure is. Wow. Well, I loved her. I loved her. I was at the 115 forum 2 weeks before she died. And she said, when she heard my presentation to all the pro-life leadership in the nation, she said, Dan, you're speaking at the next March for Life. 2 weeks later, she was with the Lord. So, the new board is not going in the same direction. It is the nature of the way things are. Here's what she did. She formulated the life principles and the